Do you think America would be a better place if we didn't have the freedom to speak our minds? Are no set standards for education? What if almost 2 million extra people in Africa suffered each year from the insufficient treatment of the HIV/AIDS virus? All this would be true if it weren't for the efforts of President George Bush. Aside from the normal strain of being the President of the United States, George Bush also dealt with the strain of war. While dealing with war, George Bush still worked relentlessly here in America to improve the education of our students with the No Child Left Behind Act. While dealing with the problems of war and education in America, George Bush still stayed focused on world health, helping the continent of Africa attempt to overcome its long-ridden battle with the HIV/AIDS virus. On September 11, 2001, America was hit with a striking blow. According to CNN, 2,977 people lost their lives on the September 11th terrorist attacks, which led Bush to start a worldwide coalition in an effort to stop the spread of terrorism, which can be considered wildly successful since that day there has been no attack by Al-Qaeda or the Taliban on American soil. One of the shining moments of this campaign was the capture and eventual execution of one of the world's most notorious dictators, Saddam Hussein, on December 30th, 2006. While the tremendous burden of war was upon George Bush, he still worked relentlessly to improve the education in America. George Bush's No Child Left Behind Act was one of the most major reforms in American scholastic history. It implemented a policy to hold schools and teachers more accountable for the results of their children. It also made it a priority to make sure that every child in America could read effectively by the third grade. While dealing with the war in education here in America, George Bush kept in mind the less fortunate continents in the world. The President's emergency plan for AIDS relief helped millions in Africa suffering from HIV and AIDS. During his presidency, George Bush allocated $46 million to the program. These $46 million helped take 50,000 people up to 2 million people that were receiving sufficient treatment for AIDS. And by 2013, it moved the number all the way up to 4 million people, when sadly the funding was cut by 13%. George Bush guided our country through one of the most difficult times in modern history. While still doing this with the war effort, he worked relentlessly on improving the education in our country and then trying to improve the world's health. These are just some of the reasons why I believe George Bush should be a man that should be paid tribute to.